Hello!
We are the Harley and Josh Show.
Yes.
That's Harley you're listening to.
Hello.
And I am...
This is Josh.
It is. Today we're going to be talking about music industry-based news, as well as some music from Leon O'Leary, who we haven't played on the show yet.
Nice.
Sam Eagle, who we have played on the show, and some Monster Florence, which is part of VVilhelm, who's done. We're going to be talking about Pledgemusic. They've had some problems in the past couple of months, so we're going to dissect that a little bit. Harsh times for them. And also, we're going to be talking about what's music worth to people.
That's a very good question.
We teased that last week, didn't we?
Yes, yeah.
Teasies. So, yeah, thanks to Robert Horn for that topic of discussion. How are you, more importantly, Harley?
Yeah, man, I'm all right.
Yeah?
I've been... it's been a cool week. I had a meet up with a friend about doing some other stuff, which
musicy stuff.
Some more musicy stuff, which I can't talk about. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Oh, Mr. Close to his chest.
Yes,
he has a lovely chest, so we should all stay very close to it.
He does have a lovely chest.
If it's who I think you're talking about, his pectorals are quite wonderful.
Oh, very pectoral person. Yes.
Peckalicious.
So, what did I get up to otherwise musically this week? We had our last week of Rock Project of the term.
Yeah.
Which was great.
We got one left tonight until...
Yes, we've got catch up tonight, and then we got a week off, which I don't know what to do with myself, really.
I've already filled it up.
Have you?
It's really annoying.
I haven't. I've got a really empty week, I'm going to do what you were talking about last week.
Yeah.
I'm going to be sort of reconnecting with some of my friends.
Yeah.
And trying to be a bit more sociable. So
it's hard, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's. I was watching a great video from this YouTube channel called Kurzgesagt. It's called In a Nutshell. It's a really great TV show, YouTube channel, and it had an episode about loneliness. And I don't know, I look to myself, I'm not a lonely person. I go out all the time. I've got friends. But then there's just points where it was saying that loneliness is a very human response to things, because we're sort of programmed to be sociable creatures, because if we work together, that's how we would hunt together back in the day, and forage and look after families. You'd get shunned if you were greedy or whatever. And and it was just sort of saying things like, when's the last time you actually went out for just for the sake of hanging out with someone, those kind of things. And it said, just message someone out of the blue, see what's going on, and find out, and my mind is always going, if I message someone, I've got to find out, what am I going to get out of the meeting.
There has to be an end goal. It's so easy to think that, isn't it? That's my plan. So if you're listening, Martin, I'm coming for you.
Is that any Martin? Because if there's a guy called Martin,
any Martin, I'm literally going to text everybody I know called Martin. No. It's fine. Particular Martin, not a musician. He probably doesn't listen. But so I'm going to be catching up with some friends hopefully next week, and being a bit more sociable, and all the nice things that happen when you go and chill. And I actually did a bit of that this weekend. I don't know if you saw any of the videos, but we'll get to that bit. So I did. I was doing house auctions on Wednesday, just gone.
Nice. Anybody's houses that they didn't know was up for auction?
No, it was all fairly by the book. We actually was joined by Homes Under the Hammer, the TV show. They were filming.
You're famous now.
Oh well, yeah. I don't know if I'm in shot. I might have been in a shot, running out of the room on the phone, because Toby from Chart Attack phoned me midway through one of the auctions.
You're going to end up on TV now, and we're going to have to change our format. It's going to be the Harley Under the Hammer show.
It's the TV star Harley, and that's other guy.
Some unknown dude. He never auctioned anything apart from eBay. Do people eBay auction houses?
I wonder. I'm sure someone has sold a house on eBay.
Yeah.
I'm going to search house. Now it's going to come up with dolls' houses, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But if you know anyone who's bought or sold a house on eBay, let us know.
Go on.
That'd be great.
I mean, so what are you mostly running in terms of the audio side of? Well, are you doing visual as well?
The company runs audio visuals. Technically, I'm not hired as an audio guy, because it's the job itself can be run by one person, which in this case was Joe Bowman. He's Bo Joman, yeah. Great drummer, great sound tech, and he runs the visuals and the audio, because all you really need to do is turn a fader up when he starts and turn it down at the end and put some music on. It's a very simple system. They use a tiny little Soundcraft desk, which is very basic.
All right, yeah.
We had a little bit more complicated work on this time round because way we ran it, we had to send a feed to the TV crew.
Right. Oh, for Homes on the Hammer, right.
Yeah. So that was another thing that we had to set up, which took a little while, which Joe might have struggled if I wasn't there.
Nice.
But as a rigger, my job is to drive the van, carry all the heavy stuff upstairs, give him a hand with setting everything up because we put a whole backdrop up, and everything like that. And then that kind of all goes into just and makes it look like it always there and has
existed. Did Homes
existed.
on the Hammer tell you that they were going to turn up?
No.
Right.
They might have told management. They might have told the company.
Lucky you guys
in
are
the
pros then, that you could actually record it.
Generally speaking, I mean, I think the gist is we do the best job we can any job we do. So it's not, we don't want to have to do an even better job just because the TV crew are here, because really we should be striving for the best every time. And I feel we pull that off pretty well. And they were fairly unobtrusive into what we wanted to do. They set up a couple of cameras and they took a feed out of our desk, and that, but the company, the guys that were running it, the sound tech and the visual, they were hilarious. Now, I don't want to say old geezers, but have worked for the BBC a long time, and me and Joe were saying that BBC people have a particular type. Right. They can be doing a job, but they're completely unflappable. Yeah. They have a nice joke, and it's kind of like a bit like they do it as a hobby kind of thing.
Both the Daves at BBC Suffolk that I've worked with have just been so... There's Dave Butcher is the guy that I've worked with the most, who does most of the sound recording stuff. They're so, like you say, unflappable. Like, they just be like, you'll turn up with the weirdest instrument in the world. Yeah. Like, what was it, Charlie Haylock, when we did the Children in Need thing, and he had like a box that was just with a stick on it to play bass on, and you just move the stick around. Yeah. And you're just kind of like, how are you supposed to mic that up? And he was just like, I'm going to put 57 on it and just hope. Yeah. I would have been like...
just panic, because you want to make it sound good, but they've been doing it long enough that they know what they're doing, Yeah. And it is great. It is really cool.
It would only just turn up with this weird instrument. You'd be like, what?
And but they're just like, no, we've got this.
Yeah, we got this. Well, what is the problem? I mean, I can sort it out.
What is the problem? Yeah. So that was my Wednesday. Obviously, ran back in time.
Oh, another question about your job.
Go on.
Are you doing mostly lectern mics or is it lapel mics?
So lectern mics for these jobs.
Yeah. Do you mic up the hammer?
No, but it does come through the mics. It is very loud.
You get contact mic.
It does peak the mic.
Really?
That's the only thing that peaks it, because it just sends a shockwave up because it's on the lectern. There's another
just the same as like flicking a mic. Really.
There's another auction house that I work for, and they use a headset. They prefer to use a headset, so it depends on the auctioneer as to what they want. Yeah.
Oops, I sold it again.
I was trying to. You were too quick on that one.
Sorry,
I couldn't get there in time. So I did the one gig this weekend, which was great. Actually, I did 2 gigs this weekend, which were both great. So nice. Friday I was with Lady J. I was the troublemaker.
Singular troublemaker.
At the Angel in Woodbridge, and that was really good fun. A really nice crowd there. It's almost like a student crowd.
All right.
It's those kind of like 18 to 21-year-olds.
Good.
Everyone's just like really nice, pleasant, up for a laugh. Of course, there were a lot of older people there as well. It was just a really nice, wide range of ages, and everyone just getting along.
How do you find making a set for an audience like that, where there's a very wide range? Because I mean, what kind of songs are in the Lady J set?
So with Lady J, there's a lot of everything. Now, what I've always said about Justine, Lady J, she is very good at... she can play anything, and because she comes from roots of stand-up and that kind of world, she can... The way she talks between songs just draws people in, makes people want to like it.
Yeah.
So she can play a song that they've never heard before, or she can play a song that they've heard many times over and they love it, and which works because she plays a lot of original stuff as well. and it all goes down really well. And she's not too serious about the way she writes her music, so there's always a little bit something where people can kind of have a chuckle over if they've not heard the song before, and it's nice. It's good fun.
You guys have recorded at Area 51, am I right?
Yes.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yes. She's been recording with us since October, I believe.
Ooh, and all original stuff.
All original stuff.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's all kind of at the moment kind of demo stage stuff, but we're building up to see sort of how it goes.
Making trouble.
Yep, we're making trouble at Area 51.
Just letting aliens loose.
Yeah, mostly that.
That's what the record's going to sound like.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
They're in the fence. They're in the walls, man. It's game over, man.
Oh, you know that song, do you?
It's game over. Yeah, cool.
So we do that. And then Saturday I was with Chart Attack, which was great to be back with those guys. It was really good fun. Nice to have us.
You only had 2 weeks off or something, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great that you guys.
It feels like a long time.
Yeah.
And that was just great fun. Me and Oscar, we really enjoyed the gig. We played some new tracks that we'd not played before, but we also went out afterwards because a friend of the show, Crystal Graver, she was like, crash at mine, and then so we went out and got very drunk. I danced very sillily, and it was good fun. It was well needed. And,
good. Where did you go out?
Where did we go out? We went to the Cock and Pie. We went to see Ed.
Classic.
What was it? Is it called Dad
Ed
Rock?
Barnes. It does the Dad Rock nights good.
Rock night. Yeah. Which is great. Every song was an absolute banger.
Yeah.
It was great.
So stuff like The Who and Led Zeppelin.
And a few poppy stuff as well, but just really well mixed. Everything was timed perfectly. Yeah. So people, there were like a full dance floor for the whole time we were there. And then went to Casey's.
Nice. Oh, you got to go to Casey's.
Yeah. I've never been before.
Really?
I've never been to Casey's.
Mate, not even when it was Betty's?
No.
Oh,
no. I've never really done a night out in Ipswich properly.
I suppose you never have time, do you? Yeah.
Well, I just don't like...
Is it Ipswich's hotspot for the LGBTQ plus community?
Yeah.
It's just... But, like, it's one of those places that whenever I've been, it's kind of like other clubs, you always feel well judged.
Yeah.
And there you don't. Which, is exactly how it should be, right?
Yeah, no, that's it. We just had a laugh. It was kind of nothing was serious was going on. We were very much just dancing like idiots because we could or couldn't.
Yeah, well, because you're too good at dancing.
Yeah,
I'm trying to dance badly, but all I got with this Michael Jackson stuff.
Too much moves, man.
Too much beat.
Yeah,
it's good. I like it, mate.
But yeah, so that was kind of my weekend, and I'm looking hopeful for what music stuff has happened this week, so what might happen over the coming weeks or months or years.
So you did, the meeting is going to have a knock-on effect from last week.
Potentially,
Mystery man meeting with his manly pectorals.
Manneries.
That concludes our news section. He didn't hardly do stuff. Yes, let's find out. He did a good job, didn't he? I think you just gamed me, didn't you, with the fader?
Did I?
Yeah.
I just do it without even...
We haven't done it for a while. That was great, mate. Well, you were talking about sort of Woodbridge area, and you've gigged in sort of Saxmundham way with Lady J and the Troublemakers, haven't you? So I want to play an artist from Saxmundham who has sent us his music, I've been wanting to play this guy's music for a long time. I saw him, I think it was about 2 and a bit years ago, at the Trinity Park Battle of the Bands competition that we were sort of like the interim entertainment. So in between when the bands were setting up for their sets, Murray and I were doing a duo set. They had an acoustic stage and a band stage. And on the acoustic stage, this guy blew my mind. I think at the time he was about 14 or 15. So I reckon it was probably about 3 years ago back now, actually, because he's 17 now. He's got this kind of old soul vibe coming from a young guy. He's sort of, if you like, Ben Howard, Bon Iver, Full Advance, that kind of thing. This is the first actual release that I've heard from him. I've seen him play live a bunch of times since then, and always been really impressed. This is Ivy by Leon O'Leary. Check it out. That was Ivy by Leon O'Leary. It's available on iTunes. Very, very nice kind of atmospheric thing that you can have on a night with some candles and those kind of things. I like candles, and I like that because it was
Nice.
it's on iTunes and stuff. He's got plenty of festivals coming up over the summer holidays.
Sweet.
He seems to be one of those guys that to be watching.
Yeah.
I think he's one to watch because if he's writing nice, well produced music like that at 17,
Yeah. He's building the music has a soundscape to it.
yeah.
And to have that kind of ear and that mind to create that already, he's got a lot of good future.
Yeah, exactly. Some potential.
Hashtag potential.
I'm trying to think actually what I did last week, mate.
Right, well,
Well, I don't know. I've just been asking my question to myself, but with banjos instead. What did I do? I don't know.
that bought you like 3.5 seconds.
I
of
know.
looking at your, looking at your
my
Google calendar.
I mean, okay. Well, I can remember stuff. So it was a nice busy week of rock project, and teaching was the last week of teaching before the half term. So I had a bit of time to just sort of get people enough practice material so that they can sort of last 2 weeks instead of one. Some of them I'm like, yeah, so you got plenty of stuff to practice, everything you'll practice maybe once. In those 2 weeks, I'm like, come on. My mother included. I've been teaching her ukulele. She's she's like, I practiced once last week. I'm like, once? Once? Sort it out, Mum. It's ridiculous. I mean, I bought her a ukulele for Christmas.
It was a nice one.
It was a really nice one from Western Music. Caught in a trap. Sorry. No looking back. We're Western Music. She's picked it up a couple of times, but she's getting better. But yeah, so I was teaching on Moorland on Tuesday and Wednesday, and I've got a new job in Rendlesham Community Primary School on Thursdays, and sort of going over that. I've been running into some more students with special needs, which has been like, when you don't have classic training on how to deal with people with needs when they aren't feeling like they're up for it, or if they're in a bad mood and they just really don't want to learn anything and they just want to scream in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just figuring out not to rise to it and not to make them feel like they're being weird.
Yeah.
And not make them, feel like they're being naughty.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes the softly approach with kids who have not been diagnosed with anything, I don't find works a lot. If you're sitting there going, it's okay, you can be a bad person, bad behavior right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. I have to. Last week I had one of the worst weeks for disciplining kids I've ever had. I had to, proper take kids out and talk to them about their behavior and send them to the head teacher, some of them, because they were just acting up in the middle of the lesson.
Yeah.
And but that just does not work when a kid is having problems at home or is literally, having counselling, things like this. But some of them is just all they need to do is play music. The best quote from one of my students who is suffering from Asperger's, she said, "I would consider it my wholehearted honour if I was allowed to play rock and roll music."
Brilliant.
I was like, get that on a t-shirt, mate. That's beautiful. That was
great.
beautiful. I would consider it my wholehearted honour if I could play rock and roll music. So I taught her how to play We Will Rock You like we do. And I let her play on electric guitar, which the school owns. And it's just, the loudest noise she's ever made without her mouth.
Yeah.
And it was just, she was absolutely loving it. Doing the poses, getting down on her
great.
knees, everything. But, she'll have times when she'll shut down.
Yeah.
But... all it takes is talking about music, and she's up for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you? I find, especially with the younger students, sometimes a break halfway through, even like on a full hour lesson. Do you sort of? One thing I've always been a big fan of, just stopping and sort of asking a music question that's like we can have like a 5-minute discussion. Do you do?
What kind of music question do you mean?
So if we're talking about sometimes the kids do it themselves. They go, what's the longest song?
Yeah.
That happened quite a lot more recently because we were learning quite a long song and there was a lot of like strain on the hands. They're like, this is a really long song. I said, no, it's 5 minutes long. I think, what what's the longest
That's
song?
ages.
And I was like, well. And
Do you know?
there's a song.
Sorry, I put you on the point now.
There is. I can't remember what it's
Spot.
called, but there's a particular space station. I can't remember what it is. The longest song
Probably in space.
will last longer than humanity because it's randomly generating notes every 2 seconds, but then playing them in chord form, and it will not play the same chord for something like 10,000 years.
Is it called human music?
It is. It sounds like human music.
Rick and Morty.
It sounds like that.
Facts.
Yeah, facts.
Facts.
Um,
I think
so
that's
that's
the first time we've done that on the show, isn't it?
And of course, I have to play the kids the world's shortest song.
What's that one?
Napalm Death, You Suffer. You know the one?
You suffer!
It's all it is. It's all it is.
Actually, I have to.
Maybe
I
we
have to
should
beat
play it
that
on the show next
with
week.
Kismet.
Yeah.
Old band of ours. We had one song that was just called Van.
Ah.
You might remember this because we used to do it in the set all the time. We used to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, Van.
I like that.
And that was it.
Man, can we cover that?
It was about.
Can we teach it at Raw
I
Project?
think it was in G. just
Okay,
so you
G.
know. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah,
so
sorry, carry on.
I have to knock on to two things. Ikoko on Valentine's Day.
Of course, I was there.
We had a great time
That's
there, didn't we?
amazing.
Watching just some wonderful musicianship from Kazim, KZ, Alfie, Jake, Marshall Tierney, and Ben Diffley.
Yeah.
They were just such wonderful musicianship on that stage.
And they had other people join them as well.
Yeah, they had Carnell Cook from Pistols and Vultures, Bebe,
Yep.
Beck from Impilo, and also Vanya from Motherfucker.
Yeah.
All came up and joined them. And British, David T. British, the
That's
promoter
it, yeah.
and rapper. So yeah, it was a really nice collaborative night of just some really nice chilled out jams. I think most of the people in the audience were musicians.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Mark
There
Stewart
were-
was there.
There were a lot of people who were there just to sort of chill and like who weren't aware that there was music on and stuck around and really got into it as well.
Exactly. So there was, it was really nice vibes, and I think they've got to do that again. Ben was like, Diffley was like, I'm not sure if we're really ready to be live. But I said, well, it depends. Because if you think of a live thing as a visual performance, then I don't think a Coco should be under that kind of banner there, because they are great to watch as musicians, but they're not out there throwing shapes. They're not going out on their knees. They're not spinning around and doing doing the moonwalk. They're focusing on their playing. It's a jazz show, but with grooves. So I don't know, like but when it comes to actually having songs that have a nice narrative to them, have a good structure, and serve a good purpose, they're great for that. They sort of all took turns talking, but it was mostly Alfie.
It was. I was going to say I could commend Alfie on his talking.
Yeah. Because nobody else wanted to.
I was talking to his partner, and she was saying he's really awkward on stage.
Yeah.
And
That's Penelope, isn't it?
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. She's a lovely lady.
And she's saying like she can tell he's quite awkward on stage. I was like, but he's saying he's keeping it short and keeping it concise. My thing is, if I'm nervous on stage and I don't know what to say and possibly say the wrong thing, I'll keep talking, and it makes it worse.
Yeah.
Whereas he was like, okay, this is this song. Hope you enjoy it.
We turn it into a podcast when we start talking. Yeah. But, I think, all it is just over time, just adding in promotion, saying, we're on Facebook, we've got CDs, this kind of stuff.
And keep backing that up. That's one thing that I feel not bands don't do enough, is don't tell people enough of...
Repeat it
at
least 3 times.
Just tell them their name. Like, at least every 2-3 songs, whatever.
Some people are like, who are these guys? And you're like, I don't know. And last show I got to see... And I was doing the sound for, actually. They were using my system, was in Pilo on Saturday at Three Wise Monkeys. So both of the gigs I went to this week were at Three Wise Monkeys in Ipswich.
Nice.
It was really, really good. I was, it's always difficult loading in that place because there is a taxi rank outside and you just got a bunch of taxi drivers like, that's my parking spot!
Yeah.
I don't care, mate. I'm sorry. I've got work to do. I'm not here for my health. It pays my bills, so I suppose it is for my health. Everything loaded in. It was Ben Goebel Trio, who I'd not seen before. So it was Goebel, who has played with the Locker Police a bunch of times, Rayner and Murray. Usually it's Rich Webb playing drums, but he's in France. Have fun, mate, with his family. So Murray got Rayner in, so it was basically Rayner and Murray up on stage the whole time, because Rayner and Murray are in Pilo as well. They sort of did a bunch of modern covers mixed in with some chilled out jazz vibes. Yeah, I think they did a good job. Like I say, there's just going to get better with time, with stage presence and talking in between songs. That's literally all that, where they failed. The rest of it was just really good musicianship and looking at each other. And Rainer had only practiced with them once and didn't mess up any of the endings.
Nice.
So well done, mate. Well done. And Impilo obviously killed it. Actually, I think that's one of the best times I've ever seen him play.
Okay, cool.
And that includes the times that I played with them.
Wow, that's saying something.
Thank you. But they got joined on stage by Native James.
Hey!
Aaron James.
Yes, nice.
Joined them on stage and just did some off the dome stuff like he did at the 5011 Watermelon Jam.
It's good to see him doing more music stuff because
Yes.
he's been a bit quiet recently. And
He's a really nice guy.
He is.
And
He's good fun.
Hopefully going to collab with him at some point.
Please do.
Yeah, because I think it'd be nice to work with just because I feel like he can fit in with a lot of different styles. I mean, he went on with the Watermelon Jam, fitted in with we did a cover of Move On Up, and he was rapping over the top of that, and it was great. And then he would go with Impilo, and they would be doing some much more darker hip hop vibes, and he would I think it was over MIA, so it was like a dub track, and he was just nailing it over that. So I think I had a good musical weekend, and it was nice to be part of it, just to be out there, because there was some really good support from the local music community for the Impilo show. The whole of Underline the Sky were there.
Sweet, nice.
Right. So
they do travelling crowds, those guys, don't they? They're all really good friends, and they like to socialise together, which is great.
Yeah. So I like it. I like it a lot. So I am going to shut up and play some music because I want to get onto the music news. Sam Eagle, we've played him on the show before. He's got some new stuff out. He's got a new EP out on iTunes. It's something Mechanisms. I've forgotten what the first word of it is. I'll find out and I'll let you know. But it's a really, really good EP. I was listening to it all morning. This one is, I'm not sure if it's my favourite track off the album, but it is the best one for the show, I felt. This one's called Ode to Jack McBrayer.
And it's off the EP Coping Mechanisms.
Coping Mechanisms. Nice one. This is by Sam Eagle. Check it out.
So is this the way it is now? Making something out.
I don't know who Jack McBrayer is, but I hope he's proud of that, because that's a great track.
That's so groovy.
Well produced, of course, is by Tom Donovan at Tom Donovan's studio in Rowhedge. I'm getting more and more around to think of maybe getting in contact with this guy, because he's produced Pet Needs,
He's
Polly
done
Haynes,
some really
Hot
cool
Tramp,
stuff. Yeah,
loads of people. So you can check that out. That's on the Coping Mechanisms EP from Sam Eagle. A really good listen. Yeah. Really, really good listen. Influences from all over the place. So anyway, I want to do a short little section, mate, because we got to talk about music news. Here we go with music news. About Pledgemusic, mate.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Pledgemusic, they're a crowdfunding platform, says that it's in discussions with several interested parties over a potential acquisition or partnership, because since about October, a lot of stuff came out about the fact that they weren't paying their artists who had successfully crowdfunded their projects. So the company issued its latest statement today, but it's February 1st, so we're a bit late on this one, after admitting responsibility last week for late payments to many artists over the past year. At the time, the manager of a well-known US indie rock band told Music Business Week that Pledgemusic's late payment fiasco was becoming, in his opinion, quote marks, the Firefest of crowdfunding.
I
mean, if anybody knows what Firefest is, you know what a Firefest is? The Ja Rule, festival that just went down the can for just scamming people. Them's big words.
Yeah.
It's calling a fire festival. So, I don't know. So, Pledgemusic has been around for quite a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if it's one of the originators of the whole crowdfunding thing. I don't know, but I mean, it's one of the big names. Certainly.
Yeah, I think they're one of the first people that I heard about. I think the Blackout used Pledgemusic for their sort of crowdfunding
2008.
thing. Yeah, maybe something like that.
Time.
But I mean, so there's no figures out just yet about how much they haven't paid out. But I'm expecting it to be a lot. They had some problems. Their CEO left last year, and he had sort of headed up some big musical projects and had somebody else come in. I'm not sure if maybe that was kind of a preemptive move of like, oh, things are going badly, I'm going to jump ship. But anyway, so all I've got here is kind of some figures as to how they've helped before. Pledgemusic has successfully serviced over 45,000 artists From emerging acts to some of the biggest names in the industry. They've supported 60 Grammy-nominated artists, and helped springboard hundreds of unsigned bands to successful careers. This is from their press team, as you can hear. Our efforts have assisted over 375 artists with chart positions on the Billboard Top 200, which doesn't make sense mathematically. I mean, there's only 200 positions. How can you help 375? Sorry. Our platform has provided close to $100 million of revenue to its artistic community. So, I mean, I think they deserve a bit of leeway, but apparently they're going to be getting everything paid within sort of 90 days. I mean, and so this is 10 days ago.
Yeah.
So
a friend of mine, the first I heard about this was Amelia Quinn,
right,
who's a singer artist, and she was doing a Pledgemusic campaign, and she decided to knock it on the head and cancel it because she's like, I don't want my fans' music not going where they want that music to go. My fans' money.
Oh right,
sorry, I don't want my fans' money going not where they want it to go.
I like the way you said that though. My fans' music, because
that's it.
It belongs to them once they've paid for it.
Yeah, and they're paying for it to be made, which makes it that little bit more special, and it certainly does increase the value of the music.
Next topic.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, because I use Kickstarter, and these places do take a lot of commission. I mean, I had to sort of give up between 10 and 15%, I believe it was, of the overall total that we raised. So, these places do get money from the campaigns that they...
And that will soon add up when you're doing a large, like a high budget thing.
I think perhaps their problem was that they just overhired. They just had too many people working there, or they had too many debtors.
This is the sort of thing that happens though with some of these companies that are large internet companies. We are very much in the younger days of the internet still. And it's got a long future ahead of it. Whilst we still work out what things are, companies are made and broken within months. Because. Yeah, like that's how the internet works. It's so immediate, it's so instant, it's so quick. Yeah. So, you can
go on Company's House right now and register a company for £1. Whether it does anything, who knows? But you used to have to go up to a specific place and actually go through a bunch of bureaucracy. But now you can do it online. I don't know. I think we're just gonna have to keep watching this. And if you are a musician and you've had some problems with Pledgemusic, please write in and let us know. We'd like to know what happened and how it went. But anyway, we want to get onto some more important topics.
Yes.
Doing a fan report about this morning.
Jingle.
Harley.
Yes.
How much is music? Is it priceless or worthless?
See, one could argue both at the same time.
It's a Schrodinger's cat of music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what is something worth that's not? It's not tangible. It's you're buying wiggly air,
right? Essentially,
you're paying for the air molecules near you to be shaken in a way that you find pleasing.
Whether that's in if it's a pop song or if it's just literally found sound, it's still you're just paying for sound.
Yeah, but at the same time, here's something I've always, when people talk about music and stuff like that. Like the iPhone, perhaps. Right. Now
that I have in my hand right now.
That iPhone, I don't know how much it costs. I don't know how expensive phones are because I always get contracts, so I never look at the single price of a phone.
Right.
But I'm assuming, say, £500-600
at least. Yeah.
They cost something in the rounds of pennies or pounds to make each one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, well, what's happening to the rest of that money? Well, that is the leading brand phone of the world. Mm-hmm. They have put thousands, if not millions, into the research and development of that song,
an immeasurable amount
of that phone.
But jumping ahead of yourself,
But for me, so when you're buying an album, when you're paying for a CD, when you're downloading a single, you are buying the research and development, as in the writing and the recording of that, and you're paying because you want that person to keep doing that.
No, that's great. I think that's a great way to look at it. I mean, so it's kind of a difficult thing to think about whether you're a consumer looking at the value of music or a musician looking at the value of music.
And because we will value it differently.
Yeah, let's have a little quick look at how consumers sort of value music.
Go on.
So I mean, musicians themselves, we make most of our money. I think it's about 56% of the industry is, or even higher than that, is up to 70 in some polls. 70% of our income is live,
Right.
so not recorded stuff. But I mean, let's have a look about how albums have decreased in value in monetary terms. Average price of an album in 1974 was about £18.90.
Is that relative to today's money? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And now it's worth about £8.49.
Yeah.
So the average kind of price of an album has gone down. A single sort of recording now brings in about 80% less than it did at the turn of the century.
Because singles were such a big thing, sort of 20 years ago.
But that's it's just the turn of the century, like you say. It's 20 years ago, and we've lost 80% of that.
Yeah.
Artists take about 10 to 14%. I mean, there's a lot of different figures. Some say even less, about 5% back when CDs were much more of overall net income of the industry. That's due to something we call value leakage. So, we may write a song and go and record it, but then all we are doing is we are either singing our part or playing our part or literally just telling other people to play it.
Yeah.
So, those people have to be paid. The engineer has to be paid. The producer has to be paid. The mastering engineer has to be paid. Then distributions have to be paid. The marketers have to be paid. The record label have to be paid.
A lot of steps.
Exactly. So that's, if you think about it down the line, who owns the song doesn't really matter. It's who's actually got it to people's ears that gets the money. I think about how much, if you think about like a cheese sandwich. Who invented the cheese sandwich? Do you think they're getting, I reckon they probably only get about less than 10% per times that people buy a cheese sandwich. That's a weird analogy.
A weird thing, do you think, though, the way that we make and produce music has meant that we can afford to lose the income on what we were? Because you go back to the 60s, recording was a lot more expensive, whereas now, as we were talking last week, you could spend 500 quid and you can essentially make an unlimited amount of music because you can do it all yourself.
Home recording.
Yeah.
If you want to listen to our
Go
episode
back and
last
listen
week,
if you missed it.
It's a great point because now we are just ending up with being able to be marketers, promoters, distribution, everything by ourselves.
Do you think that's in response to the value of music decreasing?
Yeah.
Do you think this is the fact that we can't all these? I'd love to be able to pay for someone else to do the marketing and do all of that promotional side of things for me, but just doesn't have the money there.
True. I've got so many points I want to get onto this because it was fascinating. So Thomas Edison began manufacturing wax cylinders of recorded music for home entertainment in the late 1890s. They cost 50 cents each, so about 25p. Played at 120 RPM and could hold about 2 minutes of music. Loosely speaking, that cost about 8 pence in 1889. Would cost about £1 today. So about £1 for 120 RPM little single, and 50p would be about £7 worth now.
Right.
From that kind of money to now. So then there's now how much money have landed up in the hands of musicians remains a bit murky. So I'm thinking from then, I'm trying to think about different things that have actually devalued music that I could think of. So from then, radio play.
Right.
Because you can literally just tune in without paying for anything, or just the radio. You don't have to buy a license to listen to a radio, right?
As long as you're not fussed on what you're listening to, is just listening to something new that's current, then
There we go. Tapes. People could just tape off the radio without just buying a blank tape. You get internet radio, which you can just literally you have a computer and you can.
So we're part of the problem.
We are part of the problem. Napster comes along.
So streaming or was Napster
illegal download to start off with?
Was right.
Yeah, thanks. It's enter Napster. Pirate Bay, torrent sites.
Yeah.
That's all that comes in next. Google and Mediafire. Do you remember Mediafire?
I don't.
Literally, what you used to be able to do was just type an artist name, put Mediafire into after it. It would send you immediately to a zip. The first item would send you to a zip file that you could download for free. And they got hella sued for that.
I'd imagine.
But it was going on for so long that the damage is already done. Mediafire is basically, it was kind of like Dropbox, but then now it's been really moderated. Name Your Price on Bandcamp. I think that has brought down the value of music a little bit because I think that is in an answer to torrents and MediaFire and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think they brought that stuff.
There's some really interesting. Radiohead were the first people to do that on a big scale. And
Yeah.
there were some really interesting stats about that. About the average album sold for something like £6.
Yeah.
Which, bear in mind, you could have it for free.
Yeah.
It worked out.
That is very interesting because that shows the consumer's value of it. I mean, the deluxe version of In Rainbows, which was that album, was £91. And
Right.
people, well, actually, I think it was about it was $91, about 75 quid.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sold out. So
Yeah.
people did want to pay that because
Yeah.
it's a band that people value. Indie rock stalwart Damon Krukowski wrote on his sort of blog that pressing 1,000 vinyl singles in about 1988 gave the earning potential of more than 13 million streams in about 2012. That
Right.
was. So it's quite a while back now. It's the best research I could find.
Yeah.
But it's the thing of 13 million streams past 1,000 vinyls.
Right,
So
yeah.
I feel there is you can see the decrease there.
Yeah, certainly.
But one thing I wanted to touch on, but I don't think we've got time, was trying to see about how much a successful song is valued in the public eye.
Yeah.
And sort of wanted to get into like the Robin Thicke, Pharrell, Blurred Lines thing
Yeah.
with Marvin Gaye. And Ed Sheeran's problem with Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye's estate doesn't seem to like people having songs that are close to him.
No.
But the net income of that song, Blurred Lines, after expenses and stuff, is about $17 million. So that's
Yeah.
how much on average, well, not maybe on average, just sort of an
A
idea
ballpark of
what a successful song is worth.
yeah.
So, how much of that goes to the artist and stuff? About
course, that
10% of
yeah.
that. That's what, 170 grand, which is pretty good.
I'll have it. Yeah.
I'll have it, yeah. But yeah, so what I want to actually ask in these last couple of minutes is how much is music worth to you as a musician?
Again, for me, music is, I'd say to a point, is priceless, which is a very stupid term because priceless is such an impossible concept. It's
almost infinite.
Yeah.
But it kind of is infinite, really, isn't it?
because that's where, for me, for music and everything that I stand for, it all reverts back to that, and it's the joy that it gives you.
Exactly.
And that's you can't beat that.
Think about the amount of people throughout history that have been offered like the family business. They said, look, here you go, it's
Yeah.
a family business, and they've gone, no thanks, I don't want to do that, I'm going to be a musician.
Yeah.
And then they make zero money. However, if they'd have taken that family business, they would have been stuck in their hometown for the rest of their life. And this is just a hypothetical situation that they might not have traveled, they may not have met so many people, and they would have been very tied down to a certain lifestyle. Whereas in music, I can't think about where I might be without going out and playing music in different countries, to different people, going to different venues, just hearing different points of view, and working for charitable causes, and like when we do sort of care homes and things like this.
Yeah.
Music is invaluable in that sense to me, because if it wasn't for music, I would probably work in retail and be miserable as hell.
Yeah. Because we're musicians, we have no skills in any other kind of.
I mean, we could do another job.
Oh, probably, but
Yeah, but
I
not
mean,
very well.
No.
I'd be the worst McDonald's employee in the world.
Yeah.
Look, here's your burger.
Oh yeah.
I didn't spit in it.
You'd make a jingle for "Would you like fries with that?"
Would you like some fries with that? But yeah, so I don't know. To me, it's invaluable. To the consumer, it seems to have gone down quite considerably. That's due to market pressures, but not so much. The fact of like a single worth 50p down the line is almost worth the same. If you think about it in terms of the profit, not the profit margin, so like exchange rate and inflation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think people still value music the same kind of way, but are very confused about monetary value of music. Anyway.
Totally. Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that was a very fun discussion. Thank you, Robert Horn, for the idea of that one. But let's get on to the very important part of our show where we talk about. Yes.
Nice.
What have you got going on, Harley? You've got one gig this week,
I-
at least.
I have got the one gig this week. Yeah, I am playing with Chart Attack in Felixstowe at the Trimley Sports and Social Club.
Oh, isn't it fun?
So I'm
that
looking
is
forward to that.
Friday at 9 o'clock. Am I right?
Yes, it's an early start because they have to finish early, so it'll be at 9 o'clock on the dot.
9
I
o'clock on the dot.
believe.
Okay, cool. Do you usually play a bit later with that then?
A lot of bands I play elsewhere is 9:30 till 11:30 roughly, but a general rule at the Trimley Sports is they tend to say finish at 11.
Yeah.
So that's when we
Neighbours.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Trimley for your boy.
It's, yeah.
All that loud
Is
music.
that Mrs. Locke across the road?
No, Mum's the one sitting there going, turn it up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, talking about my mum, she's got a new show on Felixstowe Radio,
has, yeah.
which I made the jingles for.
No, oh God.
I made them real funky.
Good.
But yeah, so she did a great job. So shout out, Mum, well done. She's going to be talking about women's issues and the Inequality in Pensions Act that's been going on. She's a waspy woman, so if you are interested in those issues, she's on every other Friday at 10 a.m. in the morning. So.
Nice.
Other radio stations are available. February 21st, that is this Thursday, Hollis Park from France are coming down, supported by Pet Needs at the Railway in Ipswich. Pet Needs at the Railway. Mad.
Okay, nice.
We are not working on Thursday night,
Oh, we're not.
right? Because it's half term. So if
Yeah.
you felt like it, Harley, I'm propositioning you.
Will you hold my hand?
Would you like to go to Pet Needs with me?
Yeah, I was thinking about going to the Blues Jam this
Oh,
Thursday.
interesting. All right.
And I don't know what I want to do, but
Well,
maybe
we can fit both
we
in.
can do a bit of both.
Let's do a tour, lads on tour.
Lads on tour.
HAJS on tour.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we've got February. So that's a Thursday at 8 o'clock for everybody listening in.
Awesome.
February 22nd, which is Friday. We've got Chart Attack at the Trimley Sports and
have
Social Club, as well as Soap Your Auntie
Yeah.
are playing at the. Hold on.
Oh no, yeah, I do know about that.
You do know about
yeah,
that?
we've got Nick Keeble on guitar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say because Oscar
I was like,
plays
oh
with
what?
those
Oh
bands.
wait, no, we've got.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I put rehearsal this morning. I know about this,
It's fine.
but for some reason I'd forgotten.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
fine. Soap Your Auntie are back at the Wild Man in Ipswich. That's on Friday at 8:30. So, Oscar's going to be in two bands somehow on
Yes.
the same night.
He's got a lovely new haircut. It's great.
Oh, it's great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think, no offense, Oscar, but I think Nick Keeble might have slightly more sex appeal.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oscar's new hair is amazing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he's cut it all short. He looks
Really?
beautiful.
Just
yeah.
like Nick Keeble. Has he gone left-handed as well?
Yeah, yeah.
No. Okay, I'm going to take that back then. I'm going to make them fight it out for sexiness. Also, February 23rd, which is the Saturday, 7:30, Pet Needs are playing again. So if you can't make it along to the Thursday night, they're playing with Culk
Right.
and Strike the Sun.
Nice.
That's a Harley and Josh show wet dream right there.
That is indeed.
On Saturday night.
I've just got here. I've got the Arlington's open mic and
Oh,
showcase.
let me just tell people where that is.
Oh,
That's
sorry,
at
go
the
ahead.
John Peel Centre for Creative Arts in Stowmarket. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, that's a good lineup. What were you saying about the open mic night? Sorry.
Arlington's open mic night. I don't know. I think it's every Wednesday. But I keep getting invited, so I'm going to keep sharing it. Arlington's open mic and showcase on Wednesday.
Ooh.
I don't know who's going to be
I think
showcasing.
is that Keith Sadler?
It potentially
Potential. Or is it Max Wildwood?
Anything Goes,
I
Music
think
Poetry. Max is the guy who hosts it.
Right. Max
I
Wildwood.
think they haven't mentioned about who is.
I know Keith
who's-
Sadler's doing some new open mic stuff.
There's
so
lots of open mic nights coming back on the scene at the moment.
Good.
And it's great. It trailed off a little bit for the last few years.
I think that's sort of due to more younger musicians entering the music scene. Things like Icebreakers, things like Rock Project.
yeah,
So Rob Lewis gets all the credit, obviously.
Definitely.
So 23rd, wonderful musician that you heard on the show earlier, Sam Eagle,
yes,
is playing at the Three Wise Monkeys in Colchester. That is starting off at 7:30. I'm not sure who else he's got with him that night, but that will be a really interesting night. Oh my goodness. Sam Eagle, Rubber Jaw, and Lemon Days.
Oh, sweet.
That is a sick lineup.
Great. Have we played Lemon Days on the show?
Yes, we have. We played
yeah.
last week. So 23rd, Friday 23rd in Colchester. That is Saturday, 7:30. Last one I've got on here. Here we go. February 24th. This is why I had him in my brain. Keith Sadler presents Jade May Jean. JP,
Yes.
she's playing live at Arlington's Sunday at 7:30. Arlington's Cafe Bar and Drinking in Ipswich. So yeah, that's going to be nice to sort of see that he's adding some extra stuff in.
Great.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, I did miss out a gig. I've got to apologise. That I can't remember where it is. VVilhelm, which is a sort of the VVilhelm Collective, I think it's being called, or the VVilhelm Experience or something. They are playing locally. Where are they playing? At Coda, February 22nd.
Oh yes.
So, have you been there?
No. Who is that playing there?
Friday, VVilhelm.
Cool. You know who else is playing at Coda? Impilo on Sunday.
Oh, mate, I didn't notice that.
Yep.
Impilo, Sunday at Coda.
Yes,
Wicked.
there we go.
Well, there we go. That
was just off the top of me noggin.
Off the dome, like Native James.
4 p.m. start.
VVilhelm, I'm really actually looking forward to seeing them at some point.
Yeah.
They don't have any recordings out at the moment, apart from they've got this collab they did with Monster Florence called Ginger Tea. It's on iTunes. And so VVilhelm is a guy called Will and Johnny, I believe. Johnny plays sax. Will plays trombone. Great jazz musicians. They the drummer, I believe, is the drummer from Fish Claw and
Sweet.
Monster Florence.
Right.
So real great musicianship. I think I'm going to have to check them out sometime.
Sweet.
I thank you for listening, everybody.
Yeah. No, it's been good.
Yeah, man, it's been a really good show. We've really enjoyed getting your input on what topics we should be talking about. Please let us know if there's something specific you'd like us to talk about next week, won't you?
We're going to talk about motivation next week.
That's a good idea. Such an aggravation.
Yeah. I don't
Accusations, don't know how to take them. Thanks very much for listening, guys. Like and subscribe and stay awesome.
Bye-bye.
This is Ginger Tea by Monster Florence.